What if I don't want to do this?
Then
She
just
told
let
you
your
the
wife
thing.
talk. Okay, so you're married.
So how close are we to having the food ready?
Soon enough. You're married. You're
Yeah.
living
Maybe-
in Newark.
Maybe the food's ready.
No, I already did that. You're living in Newark.
Yes, in the apartment that we looked out at people's feet, and we had orange carpeting to go with our red, white, and blue furniture.
It's beautiful.
I took a guy's job and I took his apartment.
Yes, at Westinghouse.
I replaced someone at Westinghouse, and his apartment was the one I took also.
That's convenient.
Yes.
And then you moved to with Sophie and Ernie had a place.
No, we
that was
were
first.
first. When we got, Daddy was still in graduate training with Westinghouse. So first, they said, "Oh, we don't have a place for both of you." So we were like, they said, "Send her home, and we can find a place for you." And we said, "We're married a week, and that's not happening." So we were like hysterical, and then we said, we called Aunt Sophie and Uncle Ernie and said, "Help, help." And they said, "Our next door neighbor would probably rent you a room, and then you would just eat over at our place."
And we did that.
And we did that for that 2 months till we got into our apartment in Newark.
It was
Oh,
North Newark.
North
we
Newark.
invented a town.
It was across the street from Belleville, and we would have put Belleville if we could have. But we did. We lived in North Newark.
And then you saved money and you bought a house in Denville.
Yes.
Yes.
We had a house in Denville, and we were on Shoulder Road for almost 13 years. Both-
And-
we were born there.
Glenn was born there too.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And when your children were young, like my children are now, 7 and 5, what are some memories you have of the early Glenn and Heather time? Is it family vacations that stand out? Day-to-day things?
You were.
We went. How old were they when we went on their first cruise?
Oh, they were older because it was not long before he became. They were about. He was probably 11 already, so she would have been 7.
Okay.
They're a little bit older. More of Alex and.
That first cruise was the one Barbara went on with us?
No.
Well, the cruise to nowhere was
Right.
whatever.
First
That was the
cruise.
first cruise.
Yeah.
That was when they were finishing the Statue of Liberty. That was 86.
Not finishing.
Well,
Cleaning.
Cleaning and whatever. That was 86, I think.
So family
7.
vacations are what stand out the most for you
Yes.
guys?
That, and when we were in Denville, you could walk around the back and hang out with your friends up the street without crossing streets and worry about it. So you had a lot of independence there that you were kind of fond of.
Mm-hmm. Was that how you would describe me and my youth? Independent?
Oh, yes. How would you remember yourself?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Are the adults that your children are different from what you thought they would be when they were growing up?
Yeah. We thought they would be reversed.
That I would live in Massachusetts?
No,
or?
no. That Glenn would be the responsible one, and you wouldn't be.
Ah, okay. But I think we're both pretty wild
Yeah.
and pretty responsible.
Yeah.
I think the person you marry and that you relate to helps decide how your life will go.
So, speaking of that, when you think of what people might describe Charlotte and Steve as a couple, what do you think? Is it like those opposites really attract? You've had some really lifelong, long friends, so pretend you're them. What would they say?
I don't know. Boy, are they lucky they lasted this long.
What makes it work for some and not for others?
That's a good question.
We made a commitment. Daddy has a watch that says for the first 100, and he reminds me every celebration how many we have to go till we're done.
And right now, where we stand when I'm videotaping it, how many years have you been married?
49 and
49 and a half.
3/4? Half? 49 and a half, yeah.
Right.